Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines.
Wike pleads with FG. Do not activate disciplinary measures against me for shoving India's Prime Minister. Nigerian government and state governors announced plans to take decision on proposed bill for creation of state police next week. Big Brother Naija Season 7 winner Fina disowns her family publicly over alleged neglect.
I am Gloria Atta with these and more. Welcome. The Federal Capital Territory Minister, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has appealed to the presidency not to activate disciplinary measures against him after a video surfaced online appearing to show him shove the Indian Prime Minister during a recent state visit to Nigeria. According to an exclusive story put together by People's Gazette, Wike said his apparent misconduct against Narendra Modi at the State House was induced by a perennial battle with diarrhea. What type of atrocities do Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) go after? This was the question on the lips of many Nigerians when the chairman of the National Hajj Commission, Abdullahi Saleh Usman, refused to appear in person to attend to consent over inconsistencies in the disbursement of 90 billion naira subsidy granted to Nigeria pilgrims during the 2024 Hajj exercise. The chairman of the panel, Representative Sada Soli, questioned the Commission's handling of the subsidy. This has generated tension within the House. Recall that in May, the federal government announced 90 billion naira subsidy for the 2024 Hajj operation. Despite the controversial subsidy, the Hajj operation was marred by inadequate provision of accommodation in Muna and insufficient basic travel allowance for pilgrims from states, drawing criticisms from state governors over NAHCON's management handling of the religious exercise. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives in July constituted a committee chaired by Soli to probe NAHCON's performance during this year's pilgrimage.
What about the chairman of the other committee?
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, you asked me to reschedule this hearing while you are in Saudi, and I asked you to choose a date. You chose a date. We fixed a date, and you are not here.
Yes, you're right.
We are not going to accept your absence. So wherever you are in FCT, please present yourself to this committee. Otherwise, I will invoke the provisions of the law and you'll be here. We are not going to accept this. I don't know you. You don't know me. Mr. Chairman, I'm just telling you what you should do.
The federal government and state governors have announced plans to take a decision on the proposed bill on the creation of a state police next week. The governor of Bayelsa State, Duoye Diri, disclosed this to State House correspondents in Abuja after the National Economic Council meeting. Diri revealed that the NEC gave Adamawa, Kebbi and Kwara states and the FCT 1 week, that is November 28, to submit their positions on the proposed creation of state police. He said by the time the NEC convened again next week, a decision would be taken. Now, as part of efforts geared towards bridging the digital divide for women and girls with disabilities, a non-governmental organization, the Inclusive Friends Association, with the support of Rise Up, organized a one-day digital literacy and training for women and girls with disabilities in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, on Thursday. Clearview's correspondent brings us details of the event.
About 15%, or at least 25 million of Nigeria's population, live with a disability, but sadly, many of them are faced with various forms of discrimination, stigmatization, violence, and unemployment, which figures double that of women without disabilities. According to research, women and girls living with disabilities are at 3 times greater risks of suffering physical, sexual, and economic abuse compared to able-bodied women and girls. In today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, computer and access to the internet has grown to become an integral part of everyday life as it presents unlimited opportunities in business, entertainment, healthcare, education, and more. But it is rather unfortunate that women and girls with disabilities, particularly in northern Nigeria, have not been able to tap into these opportunities due to the digital literacy gap, which greatly affects their economic well-being. In 2023, a study found that 61% of women and girls with disabilities could not power a computer on or off. Although the federal government has been making efforts to close the digital literacy gap in Nigeria, there is still a lack of provisions for persons with disabilities, especially women and girls. As part of its effort in bridging the digital divide for women and girls with disabilities, the Inclusive Friends Association, with support of Rise Up, brought together women and girls from across the FCT for a one-day digital literacy training. In her remarks, Executive Director, Inclusive Friends Association, Grace Jerry, represented by its project coordinator, Stephen Idoko, said the training aims to change that narrative by equipping women and girls with disabilities with the requisite knowledge, skills and tools to navigate the digital landscape confidently and advocate for their rights. Rise Up representative Rahila James said bridging the gap in the digital literacy world would provide an opportunity for women and girls to be a part of the change going on in the world.
I'd like to appreciate you for your time and the effort put together to be present here at this activity.
Bridging the gap in the digital literacy world is an opportunity for us to empower dreams, unlock new opportunities, and also advocate for the rights of women. Because the digital space is an opportunity for women and girls to get on board, empower themselves, and be part of the change that is happening in the world today. The major challenge that women and girls face these days is behavioral change. Africa as a whole, especially Nigeria, we have a huge patriarchal system where they believe that the man is the head of the family, the man, the boys and the girls, they are the head. So you find that women are also left behind. They are the back space where they often cannot decide for themselves. Certain situations like their health, concerning their education, even their body, they have to go through the male folks. And if he's not okay with it or the man is not okay with it, then she has no decision to make. Secondly, also, poverty is another challenge that women face. It's a circle. You find that poverty has ravished a lot of women from their grandparents to their great-grandparents, and their circles keep coming. So if you're not economically empowered, you are limited to carry out certain useful decisions that will be impactful in your lives.
When you talk about digital skills, it's a skill that everyone should possess, and no one should be excluded from having such skills. You have a lot of phones that do not even look at the needs of persons who are blind. You have laptops that does not have the applications for the blind. You only have magnifiers, but there are also other applications that should be made inclusive for the blind so that everybody can have access to it. So when we talk about digital literacy, it is key to ensuring that there is actual innovation from every angle, because everybody is important and everybody can contribute to the development of the society.
The event is expected to equip PWDs to better advocate for an addendum to incorporate digital literacy for women and girls with disabilities in the National Digital Literacy Framework 2023.
Women living with disabilities have continued to lament over the neglect and violence they often experience at home and in the society as a whole. In spite of their challenges, they remain resolute towards changing the narrative and contributing their quota to nation building. In this report, Clearview's NAHCON takes a look at the plights and strengths of women living with disabilities and how they can be properly integrated in the scheme of things at all levels.
It is estimated that 25 million Nigerians live with a disability. Of this number, 3.6 million are said to have significant difficulties in functioning. According to a report by the Disability Rights Advocacy Center, it is estimated that about 13 million of this population are women and girls. Some women living with disabilities speak on challenges confronting them.
Issue of a relationship, acceptance in the society, acceptance even in the family you are coming from. We struggle to be accepted in the family we are coming from, because the family members feel that, for instance, they are discussing family issues, they don't really call you there. They feel you don't have anything to contribute.
I'm a spinal cord injured person. For people with disability, we can have some generic kind of challenges, but for a spinal cord injured person, one of the challenge health one we face, health challenges. We pass through a lot of neuropathic pains, so we live with pains 24/7.
Why I'm on the wheelchair? In 2012, I went to Kaduna. I was coming back to Abuja, and we had an accident, and that was where I had a spinal cord injury. I became paralyzed from waist down, and then I lost my daughter. There's so many challenges. For example, when I go out, my wheelchair, sometimes if I'm not with this automatic wheelchair, they have to start wheeling me, and then if there's no ramp, they have to carry me with the wheelchair. You know, sometimes it's very embarrassing.
The society don't value us. They think that we are weak, that we cannot contribute anything to the society. Socially, they feel that we are only good for sexual, that we cannot reproduce, that we cannot be loved. Politically, they think that we cannot vote and be voted for. Religiously, they think that we are not fit to enter into the church, that we only need healing. Apart from healing, we don't need anything.
I don't see myself as a person with disability because I know I've defeated my own disability. The challenges I said I have is gender-based violence.
Despite the challenges, women living with disabilities have their own strength, which, if properly harnessed, could turn out to be the tonic needed for self-actualization.
My strengths are my sons. My sons are my strengths. In fact, me saying that makes me cry, because for every time I look at my children, I feel like I had to just live. I had to just live for them.
I go to school, I learn a skill, which I am doing. And I make sure that I did not just learn a skill, I make sure I learned a skill that people need. And people call me for services. And when I deliver, they forget that, oh, this is a woman with disability. They first of all see the professionalism in what I am doing.
One of the things that keep me strong is that I'm relentless, because this doesn't define me. That's one of them. I'm relentless, and I want to impart in people's life, because I'm able to come, or maybe won't be able to come because of the challenges. And also I'm hopeful too.
Our strengths in God come from God, the inner being of us, because I believe that whatever you think is what you are.
According to the World Health Organization, WHO, disability is an umbrella term covering impairment of activity limitations and participation restrictions. For women living with disabilities in Nigeria, their limitations and restrictions in public governance and policy decision-making process can be overcome through government policy actions aimed at, according to them, rights and privileges like other members of the society. NAHCON, reporting for Clearview Television.
Today, Clearview News Desk beams its spotlight on an astute businessman, politician, and former senator who represented Edo North Senatorial District, Edo State, in the 7th Senate, Senator Domingo Alaba Obende.
Born on 5th December 1954 in Igara, Akoko Edo local government area of Edo State, Nigeria, Senator Dr. Domingo Alaba Obende is a Nigerian politician and businessman. DD, as he is fondly called, holds a Bachelor of Public Administration degree from the University of Benin, Edo State, Nigeria. He also holds a postgraduate diploma in business management and an MBA in public services from the Business School, University of East London, United Kingdom. He also bagged an honorary causa doctorate degree in business management from St. Andrews University College, United States of America. Senator Obende Domingo has spent the better part of his life in the public sector, serving in various capacities, some of which include his appointment as Justice of the Peace by the Edo State government, Chairman of the Nigeria-Serbia Chamber of Commerce, and President of the Institute of Corporate Affairs Management, Nigeria. Obende was appointed Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Edo State Urban Water Board and became Executive Chairman of a number of companies in Nigeria and the United Kingdom. Senator Obende Domingo's political career began in 2007 after the unsuccessful outing in the PDP primary for Edo North Senate seat. He later became the Vice Chairman of PDP Edo North Senatorial District. Domingo was a member of the PDP National Electoral Panel representing Edo State at the 2008 PDP Congress. On 9 April 2011, Obende ran on the platform of the Action Congress of Nigeria and defeated Alhaji Yisa Brimo to emerge senator for the Edo North Senatorial District. During his term as senator in the 7th Assembly, Domingo sponsored and co-sponsored several bills and motions, notably the Same-Sex Prohibition Bill, also known as the Anti-Gay Bill, which seeks to criminalize same-sex marriage, garnering widespread attention in Nigeria and the international community. He also actively carried out various developmental projects for his constituency, including provision of boreholes and water distribution channels, as well as giving scholarship opportunities to students from his constituency. In the course of his life and career, Senator Domingo has bagged several awards and recognitions, as well as being a member of various fellowships and organizations, both nationally and internationally. He is a fellow of the Institute of Corporate Affairs Management, a member of the Institute of Business Administration, London. Other awards include the Philosophy of Excellence and Personal Efficiency Award, African Entrepreneurship and Leadership Merit Award by the Africa Biographical Network, among others. Outside his professional and political life, Senator Domingo is a devout Christian and family man. He is married to Deaconess Oluremi Basirat Domingo, and they are blessed with 6 children. He also spends some of his time helping the poor and less privileged in the society through various philanthropic projects and activities. He is also a music lover and sports enthusiast. Clearview celebrates Dr. Domingo's impeccable profile and personality, as well as his invaluable contributions to nation building through the public sector, which he has significantly made impact.
If you are just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Desk. We will be back after this break. Stay with us.
We break the news.
This is Christ Embassy.
Recollect, we were the first to break this. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State has approved the appointment of 3 second-class emirs. And this?
Erasmus is the most successful program of the European Union to support education and youth.
And this?
Fubara is not an ungrateful person.
And more.
Tension is currently mounting in Rivers State.
The planned arraignment of Yaya Bello.
Across our platforms. Subscribe now and you will be receiving our notifications and never left out as the news breaks on Clearview.
Welcome back. A fire outbreak has razed a block of classrooms at Limawa Day Secondary School, Minna, Niger State, on Thursday evening. The fire is said to have been started by suspected hemp smokers. Eyewitnesses reported that a group of young boys often gathered in the school premises to smoke hemp. Principal of the school, Datti Dauda, confirmed the incident, explaining that he was alerted by a neighbor. Dauda estimated the damage at over 1.5 million naira, considering the cost of repairing the destroyed planks and other materials. While the exact cause of the fire remains unclear, Dauda ruled out electrical faults as the trigger. The fire was, however, swiftly brought under control by firefighters from the Niger State Federal Fire Service. Big Brother Naija Season 7 winner Josephine Ijeoma Otabo, also known as Fina, has publicly disowned her family. The Edo-born reality star also revealed her decision to drop her son name, Otabo. She disclosed this via her verified X handle on Thursday night, lamenting that her family has never been supportive towards her since childhood. Recall that a few months ago, Fina's dad, Mr. Otabo, called her out in a national daily for not assisting him and his family since her stardom. And that's the news. But before we go, a recap of the top stories.
The Federal Capital Territory Minister, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has appealed to the presidency not to activate disciplinary measures against him after a video surfaced online appearing to show him shove the Indian Prime Minister during a recent state visit to Nigeria. The federal government and state governors have announced plans to take a decision on the proposed bill on the creation of state police next week. We also told you that Big Brother Naija Season 7 winner Josephine Ijeoma Otabo, also known as Fina, has publicly disowned her family, lamenting that her family has never been supportive towards her since childhood.
You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for joining us. I am Gloria Atta. Have a wonderful weekend.